Hello, everyone, and welcome to season two of the Tips and Bricks podcast, where we discuss all things Lego and share some of the community's best tips about those bricks we all love. My name is Alex, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm the founder of Tips and Bricks and one of the hosts of our podcast. Today, I'm super excited to be joined by my three wonderful co-hosts, Bethany, Clay, and Evan. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you may have noticed we're not brickheads anymore. That's right. For this season, we're coming to you not just from your favorite podcast app, but also via video on YouTube. We hope to create an enjoyable viewing experience for those who like to watch podcasts, especially for the games where we put relevant clues, sets, parts, and even tips and bricks posts on the screen. But don't worry for those of you who prefer to listen, we'll still describe everything as best we can, just like last season. So to catch up from where we left off from our season one finale, we'll start off with Bethany. How have you been? And can you tell us your favorite Lego memory from 2025 so far?
Oh, that makes me think because we are currently in 2025, so I have to think like the first half of this year. I think a highlight for me was when we were at Brick Fair this past summer for Brick Fair, Virginia, and we had to combine two sets into one build. It was this game that they were running, and it was a red car and Captain Rex's Y-Wing microfighter. And I saw the hubcaps as in the part box and went, aha, eyebrows. And so I made a cursed clown with minifigure buck teeth. And that to me was a highlight of the summer. I ended up winning the challenge, but that's not the highlight. The highlight was the like encapsulation of this is what Lego is, taking two sets and mashing them into something insane. And that was a highlight for me.
That is such a fun story, and congrats on winning.
Thanks.
We all know your mock skills are very good, so not surprised. But yeah, it's always fun when you see those connections. You're like, oh, this would be perfect for that, right? It's how a lot of mocks start. Amazing. Okay, let's come over to Clay next. How have you been, and what's your favorite memory of 2025?
Life is good. I was waiting, Bethany, to see if you were going to say Brickworld Chicago because when we got this question, I'm like, I feel like we have to say Brickworld Chicago since we officially got to meet Alex there. I know Alex and Evan y'all have met, but we got to actually unite there. But not counting that and all of the joy from Brickworld Chicago, I'm gonna say it's the Tips and Builds postcard challenge. I haven't gotten to build a ton this year. We're in the process of like packing our house up to get ready for sale, so the postcard
Yeah.
challenge was perfect because it was like compact, small. I was able to use only brick that I had, not have to do a lot of planning. So I was able to make a postcard of kind of my hometown. And I mean, there's some really amazing postcard designs at that Tips and Builds account. So definitely check those out. But I'd say that's my favorite memory. And I always talk about how much I love micro scale on the podcast. So I actually got to make something in micro scale instead of just talking about it for once.
Very nice. Yeah, that was a really fun challenge we did, and we need to launch another challenge soon. So keep your eyes on the page. I'm sure we're going to have some coming up. And Evan,
Exciting.
finally with you, how are you? And what's your favorite memory from 2025 so far?
I'm
And
doing
why isn't
great.
it?
And why isn't it? Probably is Brick World, actually. I think it is Brick World.
There we go.
Leave that one for me.
That's why I didn't take it because I was like, I'll let you guys.
Stealing my
will,
thunder,
someone.
everyone.
Brick World was so fun. I mean, it's the only convention I'll probably go to this year, and so it's just like such a highlight to go to a Lego convention. And also, I think was it the season finale of last season, or was it the episode with Daniel where I promised that I would make a mock for Brick World, and I was very nervous about actually pulling it off, but I did, and I was very excited. It's actually on Lego Ideas. You should check it out. Search Wizard of Oz. And yeah, so that was really fun.
And and
And I was gonna
and
say,
it
And it's
was
what
doing
else
pretty good.
happened with that build at
it
Oh,
was
Brickworld
at Brick
Chicago?
World,
nominated.
it was nominated at Brick World Chicago. It was for the
Woo!
Pop Culture Award, which was very thrilling. It was
True.
actually a very like what do they say when you have kind of like a phantom feeling of like imposter syndrome, where you're like,
Mm.
oh, this is like crazy, because I don't consider myself like any crazy big mock maker, so to be nominated at Brick World was really cool.
Very well deserved. Very cool build. People should definitely go check it out on Lego Ideas. Perfect timing with the Wicked movies coming out.
Hmm.
Yeah, amazing. And I definitely have to use Brookwatch Chicago as my top one. It was just such a fantastic experience. It just absolutely blew me away. It was very overwhelming for the first few days, but I think I was there kind of 4 days total. And once I kind of found my footing, just had an absolute blast. Obviously amazing to meet up with the team members there. I think how many did we have total? I think there was like 7 of us.
There's quite a few.
Oh,
I was gonna say 8, but it was right in that ballpark for sure.
yeah, we had some partners there as well, so we had a really lovely group, and also we met quite a few of you, our listeners from home and fans of the podcast and blog. I guess a highlight of the convention was actually running the podcast live. We did some games with
Yeah.
people who were there. So we did some kind of guess the parts and some Lego chicken, which was really fun and also really hard because people got up in front of like a room of 50 people and lots of people blanked. I
Everyone
definitely would have done.
flopped. Every single person flopped.
Yeah.
No, one person did pretty good. The last person I thought did
They still didn't
decent,
get it.
but they did it like great for like 15 seconds, and then it's like when you hit
It's
that wall, and then you
Mm.
don't know
and
where to
then
go.
it is so hard.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who's ever won a Lego chicken?
By like
Creative
correctly
chickens.
doing it rather than
Yeah.
just getting the bet.
No, I think a
Oh,
couple of
yeah.
us have gotten it for like singular rounds.
I just
Yeah.
know
I
that
think.
that's the only
I
topic
have
I can
not.
ever do. Color, and that's it. I'm done. I will never do it
Wow.
again.
We'll see if you can maintain that in season 2. Lego Chicken will be
Oh.
back, and we'll see
Oh
if we
no.
can take the crown from you, Bethany. So,
And so will some of the people that were at the podcast games at Brickworld Chicago. We're going to have some of those people, some people you may know, guest starring on this podcast very soon.
woo, very good. So, without further ado, we're going to head straight into our first segment of the episode.
Well, in today's episode, we're going to introduce a new type of discussion that is at the heart of our Tips and Bricks content, which is techniques. This is something I'm passionate about and really excited to introduce. In this shorter segment, we are going to discuss mock building techniques of a specific topic. So, our technique topic today is set upgrades. For many builders, starting a mock from scratch can be very intimidating, and a gateway to mocking, can we say that? A gateway to mocking? That makes it sound like it's a drug or something. The entrance into mocking is starting with an official set and modifying it. At Tips and Bricks, we also will occasionally post our own set upgrades, and we're starting our own rebrickable page with free instructions that some of us who have written instructions for our mock updates, you can go get them. We have one for one of the new one-piece set, and the upgrade to that is phenomenal with some great techniques. But we're always looking for ways to take sets and make them our own and improve them. And we would love for you all to join along. So today's discussion, I'm going to start with Clay. Clay,
Oh.
I know, surprise, be ready, dun dun dun. Can you tell us about your experience with modifying Lego sets?
Well, modifying Lego sets, if you can believe it, was my gateway into mocks. I mean, it does sound
It's a
a little
slippery slope, isn't
right?
it?
It's
And
not
now
a
I'm on the
bad
Tips and
thing.
Bricks team.
It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
I mean, but truly, for so many of us, that's where it kind of starts because it's not like you're necessarily going to go buy a bunch of random bulk brick like at the beginning. You're going to take brick that you have on hand and kind of modify it from there. I know one of the ones, I mean, I guess I don't even know, it's probably what, 10 years back now, that I was playing around with was a carbonite freezing chamber, like the cool one that has the Ugnaught. And it's like a pretty small one, I think like $20-$30. And having so much gray and black and random colors like that from my other Star Wars sets made me just essentially build it out a little bit. Like the chamber and the part that moved was cool. So just making more stairs, like having a little bit of a backdrop, just really taking what's already there, especially in a building, and just kind of adding landscaping, staging, like a little bit more of what exists already. So that was, I think, one of my earlier ones for sure.
Well, Alex, for you, what was your first gateway entry into modifying a set or mock making?
That's a very good question. I'm sure that when I first started Tips and Bricks, I think like 7 years ago this summer, it must have been starting with modding, right? And kind of yeah, adding on to sets. I remember I would just take lots of random bricks though and just make like my own custom sets. Like I really wanted the Republic gunship, so I just made that out of a bunch of like blue bricks, and it was awful. But yeah, I don't think I've done too many mods over the years. It's definitely something I want to get more into, and the Tips and Bricks posts are amazing contributors have made, like Clay and Brian. They've really inspired me to want to do more. A post series that really inspired me was our contributor Rob, who took the Friends Cookery School and
Yes.
expanded that into a modular, which was really cool. I mean, I don't collect the modulars. I feel like if I started getting one, that would be my gateway, and I'd need them all. But if I did, I think, yeah, taking, those Friends designs, they've done so well with them recently, and I
They
really
really have.
loved the posts he did. They kind of took you through the whole process, and he even set a budget to try and keep it quite cost effective as well. So I thought that was really good. So I definitely want to get more into it. And I remember in season one we were talking about some Star Wars sets. I think the Star Wars diorama sets, and I said I wanted to mod the
Mhm.
Endor speeder chase into a Star Wars that
Mm.
acolyte scene. And I think I've got to go ahead and just order that set and do it
Yeah.
because yeah,
Is
I'm
it
itching.
available anymore? That might be off shelves.
Oh,
Might be
okay.
a
I
little
can
harder
pick it
now.
up used. I'll pick it up used. I'll try. I'm
Yeah,
sure I can
that's fine.
find it. So yes, watch this space. Maybe next time we record an episode, I will pull the trigger. But it's quite hard to find the time for mocking. But maybe modding can be my thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, that's real cool. What about for you, Evan? What's your experience with that?
I feel like mine is mostly trying to just fit sets onto shelves. And oftentimes, a set just does not fit how you
Hmm.
want it, and it just necessitates modifying it in some way, either like shrinking it or sometimes expanding it, just really depending on how you need it to fit. And I know like the Disney Castle cut down, like there's a full tower like shorter, but you still want to make it look good. So like you take like some parts and you like modify it in that way so it's like still a seamless blend. I know like the Nightmare Before Christmas set, if like you have it set up like the way that they want it to, it just takes up a lot of space, both like
It
horizontally
does.
and like the depth is like it's really deep. And so I realized that if you actually switch the sides of it, it actually is much shallower, but then it like left these weird gaps. So it's like, okay, how do I fill it in? And so I feel like oftentimes modding for me is out of necessity. Like it's not
Okay,
maybe
okay.
like, oh, I'm so inspired in like a positive way.
I've done a few things like where you know how you get those little extra bits in a set.
Mhm.
Hmm.
If I'm decorating like one of the Christmas trees in a winter village, or
Mm.
I'm doing some of the flowers, I will often add those or stick those on those little extra bits, partly so I don't lose them, partly because I don't know, it's kind of fun to just make, if you're gonna have plants, make it very planty. Is that a word?
Totally. I've
Planty?
done that for
Okay.
botanicals too, actually, with some of the extra
Mhm.
parts.
When
And
we were
even for sets that have like the little like accessories, if like they give you like
Yeah.
an extra nice like little printed like one by one something, it's
Mhm.
like why would
Mhm.
I waste this and throw it somewhere? Like let me incorporate it into the build.
we
I
were we
was.
were at the Lego store and saw one of their the wreath that they came out with last year, and I got the idea from it
Mm.
when they displayed it rather than just having like the blue berries or the red berries, they had all of the detail on there.
Oh.
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I would never have thought to do that." That was one of my first like, "Oh, I like they put everything on there for the options." Sorry, Clay, go
With the
ahead.
Creator 3-in-1s, the fact that when you do the submodels, you have a lot of extra parts is
Mhm.
also a good place to build from with modding. I did the Unicorn Castle recently, and one of the submodels is a ship, which kind of already looks like a friendship timber build, honestly, with the colors. And because it's the smallest model, there's like a ton of extra parts with it. So I just built the ship as is, and then was like using those to like rockets, like higher walls, little sub scenes. So I'd say that playing around with modding sets, like just out of the box, if you take a Creator 3-in-1 and start from a smaller model, that's going to give you a lot to work with from the beginning too.
Mm.
Mhm.
Well, I have one other question. At what point do you feel that modifying, like, what is the line between modifying a set and mocking a set? So, for example, apologies to those who are only listening, hop over to the YouTube so you can see this. I made a Star Wars monstrosity, and I love it so much. I took this diorama set. I don't even know the name of the set. I found it used, and I made it be Star Wars Muppets. So,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I've got Beaker as
That's amazing.
C-3PO, Bunsen
Mm-hmm.
as the R2-D2 head. I've got
That's
I've got
hilarious.
Darth Animal choking out Fozzie Bear. The chefs are the stormtroopers. But does this count as like at what point? All I did was just change the heads.
For our
of-
listeners, it's the Boarding the Tantive set.
Thank you. Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know I love Star Wars. I just don't remember the words and I don't care. But but does this count as like where is the line between modifying something and mocking something?
Hmm.
Like, can I claim like
Yeah, I feel like maybe if a set is like more than 50% of its parts that you've added, I feel like that could maybe change it into a MOC because it's more original than it's more different than it is original. But that's just come into my head. I don't know.
Hmm.
What do you all think?
You know, Bethany, I actually have, I think, a good example, and it's something that you've made. You know, when it's one of your motorization builds that's really, really cool, and you took, wasn't it a design? It's not exactly a set, but you took it from, I think it's a Bricklink designer entry, maybe a rebrickable entry, but it's of like that temple, like an Aztec-looking
Oh,
temple.
yeah, it was
I
for
don't
the
know the
Bricklink
exact set.
pop-up day. Yeah, they did like a Bricklink 1-day sale thing. Yeah.
Yes, so you took that temple set and you like completely modified it. Like you added characters, you added like vines and like greenery and rock work and like motorized it to have like this huge like entryway where like people were
Yeah.
battling over it and like that at that point is a mock, I think.
Yeah. And I'd be sure to credit this original design belonged to this builder. But yeah, it's an interesting what I love about modifying a set is because you can start small and make it your own, and you don't have to feel
Mhm.
bad that all I've done is just changed these few things. But it's a good question. I always ask myself, like, can I call this a mock? Is this a mod? When does it cross that line?
I feel like it's all a technicality, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Technically, any mod is also a MOC because my own
True.
creation, that's a very open term.
Yeah,
Whereas,
totally.
yeah,
Isn't any
because
mock also technically a mod since it's coming from a Lego set that existed before?
I feel like a mod would have to be those like
The
you kept a
specific
set
parts.
together
Yeah,
and
no,
you're
I
adding
agree.
to it.
I'm
You
just being stupid.
don't give don't rub me up the wrong way, but
Which came first, the brick or the set? Is that
Mm.
that's the chicken or egg question? Well, if anyone is looking to get started on doing their own set modifications, maybe you are just a set builder and you're like, I want to take that next step and do something with my own creation, but you're not exactly sure where to start. We actually wrote a post 2004. It's a good year. 2004. Not really. I just pulled that up there. 2004. 7 ways to inspire yourself to mock. So I'm just gonna bullet list through these. 7 ways to inspire yourself to mock. Number 1, add to an existing set. Clay, you mentioned that you added sidewalk to a build, and I think that's a great way to get started. Maybe add flowers or some sort of background element. Idea 2, rebuild a set using different colors. So we gave a shout out to at Bricker Parker Builds, who takes Winter Village sets and rebuilds them in a spooky Halloween theme. So we've got fall, Halloween, Winter Village stuff on the horizon. You can take sets that are not of that genre and rebuild them with this. Use the same instructions and same parts, but change the colors to theme it out different. You can reuse part of a set. That's something I do a lot. So I have a motorized piranha plant that goes chomping. I took this set, unconstructed it, reconstructed it, and then made it be something else. You can rebuild into something new. There's a whole bunch of people who on Rebrickable, which for those who don't know, Alex, can you explain what Rebrickable is for those who haven't encountered it for the first time?
yeah, so Rebrickable is a site where you can go on and you can find people's MOCs. And often what they've done is they've taken official sets and rebuilt them into completely different models. So often they'll just use just the pieces you find in a set. Sometimes people combine different sets together as well. And yeah, it's just a really fun way to inject some new creativity into your building.
And
And
if
some
you're unlike Alex and actually like modulars, and have your own modular collection,
It's not that I
uh,
don't like them, Clay. Let's not
I
put that
know.
slander out there.
But people have all sorts of sets that they will put instructions for modulars of, like a modular of
Mhm.
a Lunar New Year set or a friend's building. So especially if you have a Lego City or aspire to one, Rebrickable is an awesome resource specifically for that too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you can take your sets, rebuild them into something new, go to Rebrickable for inspiration of how to take like the bed and breakfast friend set that I see in Clay's background. You can turn that into a modular, so enclosed on all sides. And you can also add lights or special effects to a set. There are a bunch of different light kit companies out there, and once you kind of get the basics of how they do it, you can add lights or other special effects like that. And then lastly, you can add movement to a set. If you see something go, oh, I could make that spin, I could make it so it could raise up and down. It doesn't have to be gear driven. Maybe you just make it so it can slide or lift or something. So those are from that post 2004. If you want to see the more details, you can see it then. But anyway, that I just thought that was a fun discussion to have because
Yeah.
so many of us got started by taking a set and going, what next thing can I do?
Hmm.
So are there any current sets you're working on that you're, because I have one that I'm working on, and having said that, I just blanked on what it is, so I need a second to remember what it was. It's fine. I got a long list of projects I'm working on, and I don't remember what it was.
I'm
I
not
was,
currently modifying anything, but I'm trying to think if I was to
oh,
modify something, it would probably be one of the Star Wars dioramas, like you said,
Mhm.
Alex. But now I'm thinking, like, what if you were to take, like, the Death Star diorama and add the hallway where Darth Vader dies?
Lego would never make a hallway where Darth Vader dies, so you would definitely have to mod it yourself. I
You're
agree.
right. You're right.
yeah, yeah. I did
I
remember
hate
the
you.
set. This is the
Oh,
death.
they're not the same scene, Heaven, for the last time. I can't keep telling you this, but
I don't
oh dear,
have
Heaven.
one that I'm currently working on either, but I do have one whenever like finally settled into a new place and get set up. One of the first things I'm going to do there is build the Friends, I believe it's called the Mars Research Center. Which I
Yeah.
bought when I found it on clearance, but it's still in its box waiting to be built because I had the Friends rover that like pairs with it. So
Mm.
I
Oh,
want to make like a nice little space scene. I have a lot of white parts, as y'all are aware, from all the snowing that I do with my winter builds. So I would like to like even expand the base as well. So, and
That's such a good
also
set.
this one is, well, both of the Friends space ones are awesome. And this one I even modded as well by adding the robot on the front. Like originally was just a tile, but I added it where he can actually like is a robot now and can move and has characteristics. So it's a super small mod where I just went from a tile to a robot, and I'm looking forward to doing more with the Friends space sets.
that's cool. I did think of the one that it is. I'm working on taking the Bluey sets and turning them into a moving scene with movement. So I like to display at
Mm.
shows, and I've noticed there's not a lot for the 3 and 4 year olds to get excited about. So look for a future upcoming. I don't know how future in the future. Look for a set upgrade with the Bluey sets of taking those and turning those into automaton of some sort. So, well, thanks, friends, for your answers. Let's move on to our next segment, which is a game.
Yes, it is time to play a game today. Our game of this week is going to be Make It, Mod It, Mock It. So kind of adjacent to what we were just talking about, but game style.
But
So,
where's the line here?
oh yeah, right. We'll talk about that. In this segment, we're going to discuss three Lego sets, but there's a catch. We each have to place the sets into three separate categories of make, mod, or mock. Make it is a set that we would build and keep as is. Mod it means, just like we were talking about, we would mostly build the set, but we'd want to make some room for like customizing, upgrading it in some sort of way. Lastly, mock is a set that we would just simply use for parts in our own collection of mocks. So we're going to talk through our rationales for each set, and as always, we want you to play along at home too. Are you guys excited, you three?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, ready to go.
Okay, well, usually when we play this game, we come up with just kind of a general theme. So that kind of like links the three sets together in a way. And I'm very excited about today's theme because if you're listening to us, you're probably aware of the set reviews that we publish as part of our blog, Tips and Bricks. So, as part of the the Lego Ambassador Network called LAN, our team, we periodically receive sets from Lego to review. And so, Tips and Bricks, I believe that we're pretty known for our 25-point scoring system at this point, which takes into account many different factors, mainly like part selection, minifigures, display value, techniques, accuracy, things of that sort. Only a few sets that we've scored have actually gotten that like coveted perfect 25 out of 25 score, but there are quite a few that have just fallen short and just hit it like the 24 out of 25 mark. So I'm going to take three of those today, and we're going to talk about why those sets did not hit 25 out of 25, and we're going to make mod and mock them. So those three sets are 10360 Shuttle Carrier Aircraft, set 21343 Viking Village, and set 41737 the Fringe Beach Adventure Park. Bethany, do you see any connection between these three sets?
Oh, Evan, yes, I do. Those are all sets I have reviewed and gave 24 out of 25 to.
Oh, the haters are going to come for you, Bethany.
Oh,
So
great.
this is
Thank you.
interesting. So of course, like I said before, a lot of sets have gotten 24 out of 25, but these are sets that Bethany specifically herself reviewed 24 out of 25. So we're going to talk about that.
Well, and let's be upfront here. I tend to be an optimistic reviewer, right? Like if something does something well, I want to call it out. So when something is bad, looking at you, family tree, like then I like, it's
Oh
hard.
my God, catching strays.
I know, but
Timber!
but these are some of my most favorite sets that like I really enjoyed building them and reviewing them. So I'm excited to dig into this.
I mean, yeah, they got a 24 out of 25. Like
Yeah.
we're slandering over the 1 point that you took off.
Truly.
It's like a near perfect set. So okay, just to begin, because we're gonna make and mod and mock these sets also. To start, Bethany, how can you describe the shuttle carrier aircraft for our audience?
Yeah, so the shuttle carrier aircraft came at $230 with 2,417 parts. It did lose 1 point in our review for display value. Now, this is kind of a 2-in-1 build, not that you build options to build two things, but you're building two distinct vehicles. You have the airplane portion and then you have the shuttle portion, and they can both detach. They've got some really fun techniques and paired well together as a set. It is one of the NASA series sets. And we are personally, I say we, my husband, is a huge NASA fan of the NASA sets. So we have collected every one to date, and we even have the retired city spaceport. So the reason why, in this case, that it lost 1 point for display value is because comparing those to the other NASA sets with the almost like the perfect curves and everything, display wise, when you see it in person, it's just a little bit more blocky than you would expect. Doesn't come across as blocky in the photo as it does in person, but we really love that set.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Bethany. Clay, can you describe the Viking Village for us?
Oh yeah. So this is a Lego Ideas set. And it's, I guess, actually I was gonna say it's like in the middle range for Lego's Ideas, but it's probably on the lower end now at 130 US dollars. And it comes with 2,103 parts and also comes with 4 really cool minifigs. But this one lost its point on part selection, which Bethany I'm sure will tell us about in a sec. But it's just a really cool little Viking display. Like there's a longhouse, a little smithy and forge. There's a nice little watchtower that has a bridge on it. And I also love like there's water around it, and it's a very like curved based scene with good rock work. It's not like just flat and horizontal. So there's a lot of interesting angles and even like levels and depth in the rocks and water and the buildings as well.
Yeah, and per our internal set review rubric that we have, we did a post on this, but per that, a 4 out of 5 is something that the set includes new parts, sometimes in new colors and new prints. It would be hard to imitate it without these. So that's 4 out of 5, which I feel fit Viking Village very well. 5 out of 5, this set relies on included new parts, colors, and prints. There was an appeal to acquire the set specifically for these parts. And this one was hard because this was the first time that Viking shields and Viking apparel had really made a strong comeback in what, like 2 decades? Like it had been a long time since Lego had released a Viking-based set. But that's per our rubric, that got a 4 out of 5. Not as a knock to the set, but just where we set our standards.
No, that is totally fair.
Mhm.
And lastly, Alex, can you describe the Friends Beach Adventure Park?
Yeah, of course. So this is set 41737 Friends Beach Adventure Park, retailed for $120 for 1,348 parts. It also has quite a few mini dolls included, and to describe the scene, it's like your classic kind of seaside adventure holiday kind of thing. You've got one of the characters surfing on like a wakeboard area. In the middle, you've got 3 sea creatures which rotate around like a kind of fun ride to go on. And then on the right-hand side, you've got looks like almost, when you go to like carnivals and you can like shoot down some targets, that kind of thing. And that's like squid themed. So lots of fun colors here and lots of features, which we're gonna, I'm sure, talk about. But this set lost its point for part selection. So same as Viking Village, and it was a good thing Bethany went over the rubric there because oh, I feel like this one it's got some really good recolors, some nice kind of some pinks for the flamingo. Is it a flamingo? No, for a turtle shell, which is really nice. I mean, I guess those could have been done in like a brown instead, but the pink's quite colorful, I guess. And then a few others here and there, but no kind of new parts, and I don't believe any new prints. So perhaps that was the logic behind it. Do you remember reviewing this one, Bethany, and what really kind of took off that point for the parts?
I do, yes. The again, it's that differentiation between it would be hard to build the set without having these specific things, and um it not having a new mold, but then there were some recolors, but not a lot. So that's kind of where it's a very gray area, but that's kind of where that 4 out of 5 balance came from.
I'll be honest, Bethany, I'm looking at this. I feel like this could have gone a 3 out of 5 for parts.
Oh,
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 see, this is
swing.
why we review and then put it to the team because some of us are like, oh, it
Well,
could be a 5 out of 5, and some are like, nah.
but I'm saying even with the recolors, like to Evan's point, a lot of these recolors aren't that useful, at least to me. And like there's some minifig accessories
Ah,
and like the spoiler and the surfboard, which yeah, I don't know. I 4 out of 5 is I think probably pretty fair here.
you telling me you don't want a pink surfboard, Clay? That's what I want my color surfboard to be.
Yeah, that's a
But I
pretty
do,
snazzy color.
I see what you mean.
Mm.
I think there's 14 recolors, but yeah, maybe
That's a
not all.
lot, actually. That is a lot.
it
Yeah.
introduced the little clear slope one
Oh
though.
yes,
Like
love the
that
one by
was
Oh,
2 bow and the trans
you
blue.
know,
mhm.
a trans-colored slope that can influence me a little bit here.
Yeah, not 3 out of 5 anymore, is it, Evan?
No. Actually, that's a really good recolor. Okay,
And just a
so
final thing to add on that is I look back through our comments and I think this was kind of the start of this shift that people were becoming really positive about the friend sets.
Yeah.
Because yeah, there's lots of functions in there. Someone even joked that it has more functions than a 400 euro Technic set.
mm,
Um, all the mini dolls have alternate heads, and yeah, I
Mhm.
think this marked overtaking City. This was released back in 2023, so yeah, something to bear in mind as we go through these.
that's such a good point, Alex. Actually, I feel like we've seen this like trajectory with Friends where like at that time people were commenting just like, "Wow, for Friends, this is so amazing." And now you see comments that are just like, "Ah, Friends is just so good. Friends has
Mhm.
always been so good." It's like
Yep.
rewritten the narrative, so now people just assume that Friends sets are going to be like really high
Yeah.
quality.
Mhm.
That reboot was very smart because I think they were like, let's take it to a more mature audience. Let's really just put all our best designers on it and get some cool techniques in there.
Absolutely. Well, now we're gonna have to decide between the 3 of these sets how we're gonna want to categorize them into make, mod, or mock. Bethany, I'm gonna start with you, and I'm gonna
Oh,
ask you which set that you reviewed would you most want to make?
okay. So this is making it without any alterations.
No alteration.
I would say the Viking Village. It
Mhm.
looks so pretty and it was such an enjoyable building experience. Like I've contemplated taking it apart to like dust it, clean the parts, and rebuild it just for the fun of it because it was just so delightful. And for being $130, like the boom display wow factor, they nailed it.
Great choice.
Yeah, it's a great set. It's a really good set. Is there anyone else here that would also make the
Yeah,
Viking
that
Village?
was me too, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Like, and I mean, to Bethany's point, that seems very moddable. Like, it looks like you could just add a building here. Like, it would be awesome to even just bring the water out because I have that great creator 3-in-1 the Viking
Oh,
longship.
this with the
And like, you
Viking
Yes.
could just
ship.
bring it out and have it
Mm.
there. But when we get to mod it, I'll explain why I have a different one there. And honestly, like, just as is, I would be super happy with the set. It looks like it'd be fun to pose minifigs. You could
Mhm.
even, it's not, if we're going to say it's not modding, you could even swap in different types of minifigs, like create a fun
Oh,
scene,
for
but just
sure.
leave the set existing as it was intended to be built.
Yeah.
Yeah, even this is part of like a larger like castle medieval type display would
Hmm.
look really good. Like you could
Yeah.
pair this with the Lion Knight's castle, you could pair this with
Yeah.
the medieval village that they had recently. Yeah,
Mhm.
this is a really good set. It's not my make though. Alex, is it
Oh,
your make?
no, it's not my make.
Oh,
Oh.
so then what's your make?
Oh. So my make is the Friends Adventure Park. I think for me, I just saw this one and I think it's a really perfect set. It's just so fun. It's got all the fun colors, some really fun features that you highlighted really well in your review, Bethany. In terms of
Mhm.
they just packed so much in, and I thought there was a bit more I could do with the other sets. And yeah, this is my favorite of the bunch. So I was like, I'd want to build this and keep it on my shelves for quite a while.
I 100% agree with you, Alex. Like for me, like it was like a no-brainer. I want to build the French Beach amusement park because I feel like I want to learn how they pulled this off. If you look at the review,
Yeah.
actually it's post number 2077. Bethany, you did a really excellent job of
Mhm.
Oh,
showing how the mechanisms work and how the final product comes together.
thank
And
you.
there's like one, two, three, four separate movements that like are incorporated from one gear. That's crazy. That's
One
so
crank.
cool.
One
One
crank
crank.
makes an entire display. And these two are both about the same size. Viking Village and the Friends
Mm.
Beach Think, they're about the same size. So to use one crank and make that whole display move,
They're
love
basically
it.
the
Ooh.
same price. So this it feels like a
Now I'm
fair
envisioning
comparison
a
here.
mashup where you use the mechanism from the amusement beach park inside the Viking village to make things
You
happen.
make
Mm.
But I guess we'll get to that next.
yeah, a Viking amusement park, perhaps.
Oh,
Hey.
Alex, would that be your mod?
N- Not that specifically, but the Viking one is the one I would mod though, because yeah, I really love this set as well, but I would want to expand it, and I think maybe make like a bigger singular building, like a kind of tavern or like a great
Mm.
hall, because I think there's
Mm.
lots of really good building parts in there. Like you could lots of like nice parts for like a straw roof as well, and some rocky elements as well. You can kind of build up into maybe a bigger rocky area. So I think I would probably just yeah, take some of these buildings apart and expand on them. Maybe expand on the middle one so it still counts as a
Mhm.
mod and we're not going too far into the mocking.
That's awesome. That sounds really, really fun.
Is that what you would do too, Evan? I'm
Uh,
starting to wonder if you and Alex have the same ones and Bethany and I have the same ones as we're talking.
So
Yeah.
I'm actually really torn because I feel like the Viking Village parts are just like it's by far the best, I think, part selection in terms of just like building other things. Like you
Not in
said,
terms of the
Alex,
review.
I think it got oh no, you're right, it did get this would have been
Bethany
Oh,
is just sitting over there like,
I think this could have been arguably a 5 out of 5. Like if you do like include like all the different new prints for Viking, like things like it arguable. But I could see this being a tavern, like you said, Alex. I could also just see like any sort of cottage, log cabin vibe. My thing is that I don't know what you can do with the NASA shuttle parts.
and that is exactly why it gets chucked in the bucket.
But
Like,
at the same time, it's like I don't think I'll ever use those parts. So it's like I feel like I should
Mm.
modify that set so then I can use the Viking Village for literally whatever I
oh,
want. And then like I
Oh.
don't think that mocking a set is necessarily bad. Like having those
No,
parts in
no.
my collection is
Mhm.
probably the most useful. So I kind of want to put that into mock, but I'm gonna need a minute to think about what I'm gonna do with the shuttle carrier because I don't know what you can do with it.
Well,
So
I'm
yeah.
in
gonna
the
mod.
meantime,
Yeah, I was gonna say. While you think about that, I would mod the amusement park for sure. For many of the reasons y'all talked about, like the mechanism is incredible. So I would want to learn that. And then I think what I would mod is really just the decor essentially. So like right now it's a beach carnival, festival, whatever we're calling it. And I would either change it to like a fall festival, like make it spooky,
Mm.
or I
Love
was even
that.
thinking like a pride one. So like make it super colorful, like with flags. So basically you just take each of the elements, the surfboard, the rides, and the moving back and forth with the targets, and I would just replace them with something that thematically fits. And it kind of be fun to do like throughout the year, like leave it up all the time and do seasonal displays.
That's a really, really good actually. You know what? Now that you say that, just the actual basis for cranks, maybe Bethany, because I know you've built this, you'll have a better idea. How easy would it be to then like just take the basic motorization of it and like build up a whole new themed amusement park, essentially?
Very easy. They have laid the grade work, like the mechanisms are solid in there. They've laid the groundwork that you could really take that and do a bunch of different things. So because of that, this is my mod it. Because even though I love this set so much and it has earned a spot, like our shelf space is limited, it has earned a spot on the shelf display space. I have 2 more copies of this set because I have
What?
What?
I found them on sale and I was like, yoink, these are mine. Because I have seen some people do some incredible mock making with these. So Brickmaster Harry did one at Brick World Chicago 2 years ago. And I'm going to do a quick screen share just so you guys can see that because it's kept well, hold on. There we go. Here's the button. This is what he did for it. So he did a Star Wars theme with this set.
Wow.
So here you have 3
Wow.
microfighters that are spinning where you had the animals spinning.
Mhm.
Genius.
Here is Boba Fett. He's going up and down where the Kraken was. You've
This.
got
Oh, I thought you were. I was like, you mean the Sarlacc? But you meant where the original
where
Kraken.
the original Kraken.
I was like, don't let the Star Wars fans get us today. I see.
Just, you left me speechless there for a minute. Okay. and then here you have more elements from like Tatooine or the Sarlacc pit. Fill in your scene for how you want to interpret it. I love that they have the little, what is this guy here? Yeah, they've got somebody here who's trying to like shoot the ships at it. But it's basically like an Ewoks theme park. And then over here you have C3PO who is riding on
A
his
speeder bike in
speeder
place of
bike.
the surfboard. That's so
Yeah.
clever.
That's
So
so smart.
and
Wow.
it moves so smoothly and I love how green everything is. So that has inspired me to come up with it, but I've been stuck on what to do it because Star Wars was my first thought and then I saw this one and I was like, "Oh, well
It's
they've
right
nailed
in
it.
front of you.
They've
Lord
nailed
of the
it."
Rings.
The Muppets?
Oh, Muppets too, though.
Muppets as Lord of the Rings?
Muppets at a Lord of the Rings theme park.
Bethany's
Yes.
Bethany's mind is
Bethany's
exploding
about to
on
drop this
camera.
call
I'm
and just start
just
building right now.
That's right. I'll be right back. See you guys. Thanks for enjoying this podcast. We'll talk to you all later next season. Okay.
Or I feel like it could also be really good, like you could do it like true Muppet style, where it's like everyone's a Muppet except for like Gandalf.
I
Gandalf.
I have found my modest because we love Lord of the Rings and and I do have all those non-assembled Lord of the Rings sets still. So
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is making me think. I saw a tweet recently I thought was so funny that was like, imagine they remake the Les Mis the musical movie and keep Hugh Jackman, but recast everyone else as a Muppet. And now I'm thinking, what if they did that for Lord of the Rings? And they just pick one character and keep it the same. Like
oh,
Aragorn, and then everyone else is a
it's a
Muppet.
Muppet.
Does that character just have to try keep a straight face and
Yeah,
not
oh no, no,
react
no.
at all?
Everything is normal. Like it's
Everything.
super normal. It's never addressed.
Oh my
I'm writing this idea down because I love this so much. I'm actually crying from laughing. It's so great. Okay.
Oh,
I'm
Hey,
I'm all
Evan,
in.
did you find what you're gonna mod the shuttle into?
Uh, okay, so
Into a mech?
I actually think that I could mod it, but I don't know if this goes too far into mocking. I think that because it's gonna still be space related, I think it'll count. I actually think that these parts, now that I'm looking at it, could make a really good like Imperial shuttle style
Hmm.
ship. You know what I mean? Like you can make a really cool Star Wars looking ship. I wish I had a little bit more Star Wars knowledge to be like, oh, I would make this ship specifically. But I feel like I could do a little bit digging online, find like a predominantly like white looking ship. And yeah, I can do a little spaceship mod. No?
Could go in. No, I
I
agree.
mean,
Could go with your with the Death Star Dara armor you want to do, and because
Oh
the
yeah.
shuttle where Vader takes his mask off
oh,
is a white shuttle. It's
Yes.
not the same scene though, so
That's
you
what I'm doing.
That is
finally
that
have an
is
That's what
true.
I'm
excuse to
doing.
create the scene.
I think
That
you
is my
actually
mod.
probably could make a shuttle Tidarium with us now that you say it,
Mm,
Alex. I think that would
yeah.
totally be doable.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm gonna do. That's my mod. And Alex,
Oh,
what's your mod? Oh no, you said your mod.
He modded.
What are you doing? You're just
I'm,
mocking
I'm,
the
thro-
set?
I'm just throwing it in the trash.
Oh, no, trash?
And you
When I
called
say
me
trash,
harsh.
Trash?
trash is
Oh
hot. I
my
mean, my
God.
trash of mock parts. But I don't know,
Didn't
guys.
sound
I'm
any
not.
better.
Make it, mod it, trash it. This is a new game.
I don't think we
Oh,
should treat it
guys,
like that. Sometimes it does be like
Truly.
that, but
guys. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It's a fine set. It's just not a set for me. It's just a huge white shuttle, and it's two sets in one. It's just not for me.
you
I mean, I have seen that. Bethany, can you remind me of the other NASA shuttle name? Was it the Concorde? Um,
Oh, you're asking me to remember names of things.
the Concorde was a set
so for
that
me, I
exists.
just see this as an inferior Concorde.
Mm.
That's fair.
Personally. So I would much, if I was going to have one, I'd have the Concorde. And also, I guess a fun thing I will mention is Bricktastic last year, or every year, they take like a huge set. They give it to about 10, 15 people, and they ask them to like modify it or turn it into a mock. So they've done this with like the AC-80 before. People made like
Mhm.
a Friends version or like lots of different versions. And they gave people the Concorde set last year, and people turned it into a amazing variety of things like a
Oh wow.
a guitar, a swan, turned it
Yeah,
into like
that was so cool.
Tasmanian Devil and Roadrunner, that kind of thing. Like with Roadrunner being like a shuttle and having like the wings. So there's probably is a lot you could do with this set. So I would probably just throw it in my parts bin until that inspiration hits me, but nothing's hitting me
Oh,
right now.
oh.
What I'm hearing is that you disagree with Bethany's 24 out of 25 score.
I mean, if we're going very, very subjectively here, then yeah, I
Whoa,
We need to
know.
check the
whoa.
original post for Alex's alt account to be like the negative comments on it.
I fulfilled the brief
You
of the
did,
set rubric.
you did, and I'm not. I'm just saying if
That's okay.
it would
I'm
have.
just
Okay, full
teasing.
transparency. I 100% reviewed the set as a thank you to my husband to give it to him as a gift so I didn't have to spend money on it. That is full transparency. So I don't think I would
Are
have
you-
bought the set on my
Okay,
own
okay.
because it's so expensive. So he
Y'all are
You know,
terrible.
Yeah, we're
He-
tearing this
But it's such-
apart.
in the defense of the space shuttle and the defense or the space shuttle carrier in the defense of it, it really is really cool building techniques. Like
yeah.
I looked at it and was like, it's just like a cylinder. Like, stop it, Alex. Stop
Sorry,
it.
it was Clay. I was Clay trying to hold me off.
What did I do? Why
It
am I
really
in it?
it is a really cool build. Like Tiago Catarina ranked it as like one of his top favorite build experiences of the year because it really like the interior of it, you're not building what you think you're building. It's so cool. Really great functions. But it is also in my MOC It pile for parts. Because I don't do airplanes, me personally. Like
Same page, Bethany. Just you
I-
were a little bit kinder.
Yeah.
I just need to know, Bethany, does that mean that every set that your husband owns is also technically your mock pile?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You're like, I gave
Whoa.
it to him, but I'm taking it back when I need the parts.
Yeah, no, he has the full NASA collection because that one's special and meaningful to him, and I'm like, go for it. That's all you. He does that and modulars, two very different collection streams.
He and Alex are just alike.
Oh.
Oh, so Clay, I'm guessing that this is going straight to your Bricklink store.
No, I mean, yes, I would mock it, but I'm not hateful. Well, about this in particular, I'm not hateful. But
Hate is a
there's
strong
so
word.
many
Okay,
white
come on.
parts in it. I mean, y'all know I do the Winter Village. I have the snow
Mm.
display, and there's also not just like a bunch of white plates, but there's a ton of wedges and
Yes.
slopes and wedge plates and wedge bricks. So I actually scrolled the parts list of it and was like, oh my gosh, there's so many parts that I would actually snatch out of this specifically for my snow scenes. I mean, there's
Yeah.
stuff I wouldn't necessarily use, and it seems like there's more like grays and tans and blacks than I thought until I was scrolling the parts list. So yes, I guess some of it would end up in my mock pile, but a lot of it I would actually use it. So I would totally use these parts for sure.
I actually think that this is the most useful mock that I've heard recently. Like, that's honestly perfect for you. Your winter
Yeah, I
village
was
would look
like,
so great with this.
when I saw the list, I was like, ooh, this is already, honestly, even before the other two, I think I saw this one as MOC It just for the value of the white slopes and wedges.
So you're gonna
And
buy it just for the winter village.
Oh, no.
well, and there is a really cool piece in there. Well, there's several cool pieces in there, but there's a really great piece that is a print exclusive to the set that there are 22 of. And I can't tell looking at the picture here. I think it's curved. Clay, you might remember more looking at it because it's been a bit since I looked at this, but it's the windows that go along the side of the airplane. But the mock potential on those, whether you're making ships or buildings or you're doing like architecture, there's some really great options that could be made with these 22 pieces. I do believe they are slopes.
Yeah, it's
I'm sure.
the 2x4 curved slope.
2x4 curved
Oh, that's
slope.
nice. Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
nice.
that really would be awesome for architecture or even like a micro scale city. I could totally see those looking like little buildings or yeah. So, and I love when there's a printed part that there's a lot of. And you didn't have to apply 22 stickers is also a bonus.
Can you imagine 22 stickers of that?
If this set came out in 2025. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I think it did though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
It did come out in
It
2025.
Never
So there.
Evan
All
just
right.
being savage for no reason.
I'm just being annoying. Okay, so just to go over, Bethany, which one did you make? Which one did you mod? Which one did you mock?
I would make the Viking Village. I would mod the beach amusement park, and I would mock the space shuttle.
And
Nice.
she speaks for us both.
Yeah, true.
Clay's got me.
And Alex, what would you do?
So I'm also mocking the space shuttle, but I'm going to make the Friends Amusement Park and I'm going to mod the Viking Village.
And I'm also going to make the Friends Amusement Park, but I'm going to mod the space shuttle and I'm going to use those Viking parts for something eventually. It's honestly what I would probably do. I
They're
probably
good
would
parts, for
actually
sure.
mock them. So awesome. Thank you three for playing along. Make it, mod it, mock it. And we'll definitely have this game more in future episodes. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll try and be a bit less harsh to carry on the rest of the season.
We'll go away from make it, mod it, trash it.
Oh God.
Doesn't quite have
no.
the same ring to it, does it? But a little bit more clickbaity. Maybe that would get some viral clips. We'll see. We'll see how we go.
Oh dear.
So this week I am hosting our question of the week, where every episode we share a burning question about Lego that we will all answer together. And today we're talking about, what makes Lego Lego, which is the Lego parts, or Lego bricks, or Lego elements, depending on what word you want to use. But we all know that like the connection system with Lego is brilliant. It's what makes us all fans of the system, and like every conversation we have about mocking and modding all goes back to how those parts interrelate with one another. And some parts, from 50 years ago, super useful still. We see them used over and over again, while every year we see new parts and molds get introduced as well. And since we've all built a lot, whether it's, building a set for review or modding or mocking or whatever we may be doing, we all have experience using a variety of parts from old molds to new molds and everything in between. So, for today's question of the week, if you could edit one existing Lego part, what part would you choose and what would you change about it? So it's not like a brand new part that you're just bringing up out of nothing, but taking one specific piece that exists. How are you editing it and changing it to be more useful for you? So let's start with you, Alex. What are you thinking?
Oh, so my first thought with this was the humble cheese slope. And I know the shape of the cheese slope, you can create some really great mosaics with it. Definitely check out those if you haven't already. But what's always annoyed me with that part is if you kind of put it on like stacked plates, you're never going to get a smooth texture across them, you're always going to have a bit of a bumpy texture. So you can do some really clever like half plate magic maths in there to align it, which is a fun technique, but that's just always annoyed me. So I think I would probably go back and just make the slopes a bit easier to align like that. And then, if you want to get that uneven texture, then you can do that half plate craziness, but I don't have time for that.
Oh, that's intriguing.
Does the slope that has like it's like the 1x2 with the little like slope attached, does that one line up perfectly, or does that one also require some magic?
There's a little bit of
No.
magic with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, what the heck?
And I'm just
Right.
like, what, like, did it first come about because the first slopes were like the brick slopes and they wanted it to align with that? Like, I would really love to know the logic behind why it doesn't
It's the lip
add up.
on the slope, right? Like that's the issue. There's like a little lip, and it's on
Yes.
all slopes. And that's like why even like the bigger slopes that sometimes they use for roofs kind of look kind of bad sometimes, because it's like you see that little lip, and so it's not like a steep, clear
Well, and they've
line.
made those extra tall, narrow ones. I've got several of those in my collection. Like they're not just T-slope, but they're like extra. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about? They're like extra tall, and I still feel like those don't. I think it is that lip. I feel like they still don't line up because of that.
Yeah.
I was also one of the ones I was thinking of was also a cheese slope, but rather than adjusting the height of it, instead of like the bottom where you can actually place it on top of a stud, I would love if that anti-stud was a stud itself.
Wait,
So you
what?
could use Okay, so we have a cheese wedge, and the way that you place it is the anti-stud underneath, or really the space underneath. But instead of that space on the bottom of the cheese wedge, if a stud stuck out, so you could essentially use it upside down. So you could stick it like in the center of one of the 2x2 round jumper plates that has a hole and have a cheese wedge poking out of there. Or on a 1x2 inverted slope, you could stick it on there and have a nice smoothish other than the lip. So yeah, cheese slope, because I use it so often, was also one of the ones I'm like, how can I make this kind of easier to use?
I think that'd be really fun for like architectural details as well, because there's so many times with arches where you want to try and complete like maybe a nice curved arch, and if you could just stick the cheese slope upside down without using an illegal technique like blue tack or anything, that would be a lot of fun.
I'm thinking for ships too, actually. It could be nice on like the underside to like really smooth out the underside of a ship.
Yes, and we have been getting more of those parts that have those studs on top to really smooth those out.
I
So
love those
who
parts.
knows? Yeah, they're great.
And what about you, Bethany? I know you do all sorts of movement. Is there like I don't know if there's something as specific as a gear or technic element, or are you thinking more brick is something you would edit?
No idea. So you sent this question out, and I gave it so much thought. And like I've always seen the limitations of the brick equal challenges to overcome, that I haven't sat there and yelled at the piece and gone, "Why don't you have blah 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 blah?" But
I was gonna say, is there any time you have to use like 2 or 3 bricks to do something that you feel like could have been achievable with fewer parts if there was an edit?
I feel like if there's something I could do, it would be to take the Technic plates, so they're the regular flat plates with the holes in them, and be able to have some that are not just stuck in 4, 6, or 8 units. Like to have different lengths. So we don't have a 2x2 plate with hole that has studs on it that has a clear spinner. You can use a 2x2 round plate, but that has an axle hole, not a pinhole. So you stick something in there and it doesn't have free moving. But I don't, having be like a length of 3, but like I've gotten so used to that math. I feel like if they did come out with it, I'd be like,
You wouldn't use it.
what are you messing with my system for? So I think you had mentioned this, and I don't know if it's fair to steal your suggestion or not. Is that okay? I'm going to do it. So
that facial clay was a
right. I was like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to see what you do.
yeah, I'm gonna take it. That's fine. That's fine.
You did ask her, Clay, so it's her turn.
Yes. I was hoping you would go first, and I could say that one, Clay. Having the ability to stick something into a trash can or a pot and not have it fall off would be superb. I have a little handheld model of a Swedish chef who's cooking in the kitchen, that when I go to shows, kids can hold it and spin it so they can see how the twisting movement works. And in his kitchen, he has a trash can. And invariably, I have to leave the trash can and the pot on the stove empty because the kid will go, how does that work? And all the stuff just goes shh, and falls right out. And I haven't succumbed to using sticky tack or the blue putty that you mentioned, Alex, but I've gotten close. Like, I just want the fish to stay in the pot. I don't want it to fall out.
I could see the issue though, especially for like the teacup piece. Actually, maybe that does have a thing in it. But like some of those like pot things, I could see if you were to put like a 1x1 tile in it, that it would just be like really annoying to get out if it was studded.
So the way that they fix that is they put a bar hole on the bottom.
Oh, wow.
So then you can't use a brick separator because that's an axle, it's too thick, but you can take a bar and then pop it out, because that's there are other parts that are like where I put it in, then I went, oh no, how do I get this out? And then I saw the hole and I was like, oh good, they thought of me.
Knowing Lego though, I feel like that would mean that every set that did that would have to include some bar piece at some point.
No.
Think of the children.
I'm thinking of how some sets come with a brick separator and some 3-in-1 don't, and you're like, good, I'm gonna go rebuild this, and you're like, my nails, because it didn't include one.
Well, one of the reasons I also said this answer that was, viciously stolen from me about plates and bowls with a stud on them is because then I feel like you have the potential to become more. Like a bowl, especially the printed bowls. Like I think Professor Trelawney came with one ages ago. So like if there was a stud on that, then you could make it like an architectural detail or use it in other ways beyond just as a food bowl or a food plate. So that's also a reason why, and I also, when it comes to MOCs or even display pieces, I love seeing the Lego studs to make it feel like Lego. So I'm always open to like more studs on something, whether it's a cheese loaf or a plate, apparently.
And I love the open stud, so you can stick a bar in it. So like the angled bar with stud, if you stuck that, imagine you could create like a towering thing of cups that's listing to side to side. Like, I feel like it's begging to be made, but the part is not there.
Well, what about you, Evan? Are there any parts you would edit?
I feel like we would be remiss in a Lego podcast to talk about modifying an existing Lego part and not talk about the issue of helmet holes. I'm here for the Star Wars community, and I just think that this part should exist. A clone helmet that has the hole in it, I would take it and I would add another hole to it.
Go on. I'm here with you. Go on.
So, okay, imagine a nice little pinhole at the top of the clone hat, so that you could put like a little bow in it. You could add like a little like
clone hat, a
little accessory on top of the little clone. Like, what
if
the clone wants to have a birthday party and they can't put the birthday party hat on it?
They would all have the same birthday too. What a party that would be.
You're right, they would. Yeah, what if you want to do a clone birthday party mock? That's an amazing idea, actually. Like, everyone has the birthday party hat, but you can't do that because they don't have the little hole at the top.
Okay, so I feel like you're going a little wild. But in all actuality, those little helmet holes, pinholes, like, couldn't they just be on every minifig hair? Like, why are they only kind of in the Friends ones? Shouldn't regular hairs have the opportunity for accessories? Yes? No?
I feel like some people really dislike holes because they think that they're ugly or detract. I am kind of with you, Clay, that I feel like it's Lego. It's like this ain't my real hair anyway. It's like this is plastic. Like, oh no, my plastic hair isn't realistic. Like, what do you mean? And so I feel like having the little hole on the top to be able to add the accessories, like that just really just emphasizes more play, more like functionality, more customization.
As a mom, my first experience to Lego was not playing with it myself, but was as a mom. As a mom, I thought the holes were there intentionally as a choking hazard. So if it got stuck in your throat, you could still breathe.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then when I discovered that not all hats and not all hairs had it, I was like, they only care about some kids choking and not others?
No, the kids are supposed to check for helmet holes before they swallow the parts.
Oh, that's it. Okay, that's on the box, part of the age rating.
Alex, I know you're an actual Star Wars fan. I'm sorry. That sounded so bad, Evan.
Yeah,
Okay,
I've
no,
just
no,
been
no.
a fake Star Wars
I
fan.
am
I'm saying, Alex,
fully
I know you're
trolling.
also a Star Wars
Yes.
fan. Sorry, that was
No,
the
I
A
am
word I meant
the
to go
true Star
for.
Wars fan. I'm the true Jedi.
Uh, so what do
Uh,
you, I mean, how do you feel about like the holes to add customizations to the clone helmets?
I do get where some of the hate comes from, right? Because like the hole wasn't put where it should be. And I think that was some people's complaint that it was like they created one like it on the clone helmet design, right? They have this like circular area where the rangefinders, all the accessories are meant to go, and they like drilled one underneath it, basically, right? I think that's the design of it.
Mm.
So
Well,
I
isn't it
do see
because
that
if
logic.
you have the visor on, like, because the visor is like attached to the holes, right? And like those accessories attached to the holes, but technically that's not the same as the actual like spot on the helmet. So those are supposed to be, it's supposed to be a different spot. I think that was the logic from Lego, but
Okay.
it does look weird when you don't have an accessory on it. I think that's the argument.
I mean, then that's a kind of understandable.
But then like is Lego supposed to make some that do have
Like,
the hole for
yeah,
accessories and some that don't? I
true.
feel like that's, but maybe that's the answer. Or maybe they should just add the third hole.
Yeah, that's the correct answer.
More
You
holes.
got it.
More holes.
Yeah,
I'm
we should
just
have one like on
rage
the
baiting.
top, one at the back, one like on just add them everywhere, right? Like I wanna have options for where I place my accessories and the birthday hats, right? Like
Mm,
clones, they want to be able to put it wherever they want. You know, not all of them will want it on their head. They
that's
might want it coming
true.
out their ear, like both ears, like, they
That's
are
true.
individuals.
You know, I'm actually thinking instead of printing the cloth camo, they should just print like a little birthday hat, like on the torso
I'd
or on
love
the
that.
legs.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be good.
Yeah.
All right, Bethany and I do not stand by this. Stray fire should not come our way.
That's right. That's
Um,
right.
while y'all think if there's any final ones that you wanted to bring up before we wrap, I did want to point out that Felix on our team did this really incredible three-part series of modern
Mm.
Lego animals. And we're talking more like of, elements you could build with, but he drew out these incredible molds for potential animals that should exist in Lego. So I recommend going back and looking at those. They're posts 2692, 2718, and 2748. And he digs through like, why don't we have these animals in Lego and create some really brilliant, realistic potential animals we'll hopefully see one day in Lego form.
And he hand drew them. So
Yeah.
this isn't like AI filling in the thing. Like this is his artistic style coming through. Marvelous.
Hand drawn in like digitally and like
Hand drawn
paint.
digital. Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to make sure.
Sketched on a piece of paper.
It's all
Yeah,
like
same
they look really
thing.
good.
Hand drawn
Very,
digital.
very
Okay,
good.
fine, whatever. I'm old. Leave me in my oldness.
Well, any final thoughts before we wrap up? Any other ways that we could modify a cheese slope or any other rage bait you got for us, Evan?
Does
we-
begging the color white not turn yellow count as an edit?
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, well,
What would you have
we
to
do
do
have a
to that
new
though?
whitish, so
I don't know. I mean,
Make
speaking
them
of the space
yourself.
shuttle,
exactly.
speaking of the space shuttle, almost all of those white parts were all new because they came out with this new formula for white. It's technically a new color. It's a new white. So time will tell. If anyone wants to set theirs in the sun, no, not me.
I
and
never
let us know.
understood why people got too mad at that though, just because the sun recolors everything you put in the window. You know what I mean? Like you can't put anything in a windowsill and expect it to stay the same color.
Well,
Like
okay. Yes, I agree with that. The sun fades everything. However, not all white fades evenly.
that's true. That's very true.
And without making it another 10-minute segment, I will stop there.
Right. We don't need
End
to dive into
rant.
more. Well, thank you all for sharing your answers and thoughts to this episode's question of the week, which is if you could edit one Lego part, what would it be and what would you change about it? And as always, thanks for great discussion, even when it takes us so far afield. I don't even know how we got there. There's the joy in it. All right, let's wrap it up.
So that's all we have time for on today's episode of the Tips and Bricks podcast. We hope you've enjoyed us kicking off season 2 in style. Make sure to tune in for our next episode. We have some really exciting guests lined up for this season. But until then, you can continue the conversation with us at Tips and Bricks on Instagram and now YouTube, and also consider joining us on Patreon. The link can be found in the podcast description. We're going to be dropping some exclusive clips over on our Patreon, and via the Patreon Discord, you can even chat to us and share your thoughts on the question of the week. If you enjoyed today's episode, we would love for you to rate and review us on your favorite podcast app. And of course, hit those YouTube like and subscribe buttons. It really helps us out. So until next time, I've been Alex with Bethany, Clay, and Evan signing off. Happy building, everyone.